Welcome into the first ever episode of the Havoc Show, the show where we're going to bring you the scoop on all things VCU Rams basketball. I am one of your hosts, Sam Wolfe, and I'm so glad to be joined by my esteemed co-host, Arrick Wilson of the Commonwealth Times. Arrick, let's get straight into what we're all thinking about, and that is the fantastic season opener against the Manhattan Jaspers. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Ace Baldwin really came in for VCU, coming in with 15 points, 9 assists, shooting 50% from the field. And I also really liked how Brandon Johns Jr. and Jamil Watkins came in and played and got their own bucket. It was really good to see Watkins come back after that injury.
Yeah, it was great to see Jameer back in action with 13 points, looked fantastic through stretches. However, there was one area of concern for the Rams, and that was a 9-minute field goal drought for Coach Rhodes' squad. He said in his post-game press conference that he saw as an excuse to get better through this week's practices.
Tale of two halves. I'm not glad it happened, but I'm sort of glad it happened because I'll have their attention from the second half on Wednesday. And for Wednesday's practice, we'll have their attention with the second half.
Besides the rocky second half, the Stew was rocking on Monday night with 7,000 plus fans in attendance. Ryan Capacci was there with the Peppas, killing it in his first official game back with the Pep Band. From look back to look ahead, the Rams are preparing to play the Morgan State Bears on Saturday. Arrick, what are your thoughts looking ahead at this game?
Yeah, Morgan State, pretty solid team, but I see VCU winning this pretty easily. One player to look out for is Malik Miller, who had 27 points his last outing, shooting 9 from 11. Sam, who was your key X factor for this game for VCU?
So my X factor for the Rams is going to be Zeb Jackson coming off the bench. The Michigan transfer is a fantastic shooter and a great guard off the bench. And on most programs, he wouldn't even be coming off the bench, so he should be some extra firepower for this Rams team. Should create a lot of opportunities.
A lot of offense for VCU.
Absolutely. Moving on to next week, the Rams are going up to Brooklyn, New York for the Legends Classic tournament. We'll be seeing some elite D1 Power 5 programs. Arrick, what are your thoughts on playing these great teams?
Yeah, I see these games as blessings. You got teams like Michigan, Pitt, and also Arizona State, teams that almost make it to the tournament every single season. Some key players to watch out for our next matchup versus Arizona State is DJ Horn, who averaged 12.5 points last season, and his last matchup he had 25 points against the last team that they did face.
Yeah, and there should be an interesting personal component for some of the Rams players. If Michigan advances versus Pitt and VCU advances against Arizona State, Zeb Jackson and Brandon Johns Jr. will see their former team. Speaking of the Michigan Wolverines, any interesting players that you see in that matchup?
Hunter Dickerson. He's a really good force back-to-back skip. Big for Michigan. Last game had 22 points and 12 rebounds. He's a really good, interesting NBA prospect also.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, that's all we have for you today. We'll be back in 2 weeks to give you the rundown again. Thanks for tuning in. This has been the Havoc Show.